At 8 months pregnant, my long-distance husband, worried I'd get jealous, replaced his young, beautiful secretary with an old woman. Then, for our anniversary, he sent a 9-carat diamond ring from overseas. Everyone gushed, telling me how lucky I was. But I only needed one glance at the ring before I coldly dialed Zachary's number. I don't want this ring, and I don't want to see you again. We're getting a divorce. A hush fell over the room. On the other end of the line, Zachary's voice trembled. What? What did I do wrong? I've spent years flying back and forth for you, showering you with gifts. You're pregnant and sensitive. So I even fired the secretary I'd had for years and hired a woman old enough to be my mother. And this ring, Jane, it's one of a kind. Have I not been good enough to you? My face was a mask. Then you can give the ring to your new secretary and spend the rest of your life with her. We're done. That night, Zachary boarded a red-eye flight, enduring more than 10 hours in the air to come back. He came straight to my hospital room. The moment he appeared, I pulled the divorce papers from my bag and laid them in front of him. Since you're here, I said calmly, you can just sign these. Zachary's face was ashen, his voice raspy. Honey, you're just saying this to get me to come home, right? I'm here now. You can stop. The other patients in the ward started whispering. Everyone saw me as a spoiled, ungrateful wife, taking a stand for the poor, wronged Zachary. And why wouldn't they? For years, Zachary had been the perfect husband. We were childhood sweethearts, each other's first love. He spent every day finding new ways to make me smile. When the company needed someone to manage the new branch in the States, I was hesitant to send anyone else. He volunteered immediately. After that, he practically lived on red-eye flights, shuttling between 2 countries, collecting hundreds of boarding passes just for a few hours with me. When I got pregnant, he replaced his young, gorgeous secretary with an older woman, just to put my mind at ease. My friends and family all said I'd hit the jackpot, but that was all in the past. I turned away from him, my voice unwavering. Think whatever you want. This divorce is happening today. His eyes reddened. He grabbed my hand, his voice cracking as he begged, Jane, please, don't do this. If you don't like the ring, I'll buy you something else. I'll quit my job. I'll stay here with you until the baby comes, okay? Not okay. I pulled my hand from his grasp, my gaze like ice. The only thing I want from you is a divorce. Seeing my resolve, Zachary's new secretary, Linda, rushed forward, her voice shrill. Mrs. Lewis, how can you do this to him? He dropped a multi-million-dollar contract and flew for over 10 hours on a red eye just to appease your little tantrum. And that ring. Do you have any idea what he went through to have a top designer create that for you? Are you just going to throw his devotion away like it's trash? I shot her a look of pure contempt. You're just a secretary. What gives you the right to speak here? And since you feel so sorry for him, why don't you marry him instead? Linda's face flushed a deep mottled red. Mrs. Lewis, what are you saying? Look at my age. You can't be jealous of me. Zachary's brow furrowed. Honey, isn't your pregnancy making you a little paranoid? Me and Linda? How is that even possible? The onlookers sized Linda up and couldn't help but snicker. The laughter grew, and Zachary's expression filled with exasperation. He gripped my hand tightly, his voice a low, pleading whisper. I hired an older secretary specifically so you wouldn't get jealous. How can you still think the worst of me? We have so much history, Jane. Please don't do this. We can't get a divorce. I stared at him and let out a cold laugh. Fine, then fire her. Zachary froze, a flicker of hesitation in his eyes. Mrs. Lewis! Linda suddenly dropped to her knees in front of everyone, tears streaming down her face. My son has a terminal illness and my husband is dead, she sobbed. Mr. Lewis only gave me this job out of pity. You can't make him fire me. My life doesn't matter, but my son is in the ICU waiting for money to save his life. I really need this job. Linda's wails were heartbreakingly convincing. The crowd murmured in sympathy, turning on me. Seeing the tide turn in her favor, Linda clutched at the hem of my gown. Mrs. Lewis, I promise I'll stay far away from Mr. Lewis. I'll only do my work. Please, just let me keep my job. Click the link in my bio to get the full story for free.